Oh, this Wednesday has kind of a Monday feel to it. All right. Giving that a try. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's come back out a little. Even a little more. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, let's get this found over here. Oh, goodness, what a day. The kids started school today. This is our first day back at school. Oh, goodness. Yay. Things look in the right direction and everything. All right. Oh, hey, Angie. Yay. Hi, everyone. All right. Oh, my goodness. Jeff, I hope you can stay tuned because we're going to empty the tumbler today from the first grit. And there is at least one of your rocks in there, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. Rufo says he's just doing stuff around the house right now. I'm going to do a live in a couple of hours for a short bit for fun, and then a live sale tonight after he works out. So awesome. A fun-filled day for everyone. Let me have a sip. Cheers to that. Okay. So this is not Caden's gypsum, but this is the gypsum that we just found in our last adventure there at the giant septarians and the fossils. And I've noticed that when you look at the sides of this gypsum, that there are some rainbows in it. Will I be able to see the rainbows in this? I don't know if we'll catch it on the camera or not. There's one right about here. I'm not seeing it on the camera. Let's see, does this little guy? Yeah, he's kind of got a little rainbow right there. I don't know if I will catch it. I don't know. I'm having a hard time seeing if it's catching it or not. Let's see. Can I see one with my eyeball first? On this one. Oh, we were trying to look at this one earlier. It's right there in that little window. Yeah, all I see is flash, 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 flash. I'll try to grab some pictures. Like, I did try to grab one for the thumbnail on this video, and it was tricky even just to get a good picture of it. Anyway, excuse me. Up along the edges of these, lots and lots of rainbows. Some of them better than others, but I found that really fascinating. That oil rainbow thing we have going on there. So I'm gonna leave these here real quick. We're gonna get right into this. I'm excited about the rainbows in this stuff, but let's see what's going on in the tumbler. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go get it. We're gonna open it up together. Whoops. The quiet. Woo. Okay, I was running this outside, but it rained really hard the other night, a couple nights in a row. So I brought it inside for a couple of days. Let's see which way's out. That way. Hey, Soul, good morning. Al, did I see Al in here too? Good morning or afternoon if it is such where you are. Oh boy. Everybody ready? All right, where'd I put that jug? Right here. Oh, let me give this lid a quick rinse. All right, fantastic. Put him over here. Oh boy, who's excited? I know that there is a lot of petrified wood in here and the occasional agate. That was kind of the hope here, was to do a nice load of pet wood. Again, this was the first grit, really aggressive grit. So we do have some little bits and pieces here. It's really important that you don't wash this down your drain. It's really, really, really not good for your drain. So I'm going to dump these into this strainer with a bucket underneath of it. I'm going to give my tumbler just a quick rinse before this stuff dries, and I'm going to dump the rinse over the rocks, and then I'm going to rinse the rocks. And I'll come back through and clean my barrel and my lid and everything really good with a toothbrush before I move it along to the next grit. That way I don't carry this aggressive grit on. And we'll do this step, you know, many more times before we're finished with these rocks. I'm just giving them a little rinse. All right. So my tumbler quit, if you guys remember. My tumbler quit, and I actually had it completely dismantled from top to bottom. And I was looking at the wiring inside the case, and I was like, there's no reason why you couldn't just hot wire this straight from the outlet to the motor. I mean, I'd lose all my buttons, which give me the options. The one side keeps track of the days, and the other side keeps track of the speed at which the rocks are turning. I was like, I mean, the buttons and the options are nice, but I could live without them. And my genius brother showed up, and I was like, brother, I think we're to the point now where we might need to just hotwire my tumbler back together, Frankenstein it back together. And he happened to have, we had tried 2 power cords. He happened to have a third one out in his car. He went and grabbed it, plugged it in, and the fire and it took off. It fired right up, took off. So I didn't have to butcher my machine. And I let it run 1 week on a high-speed, aggressive grit. I opened it up and looked at it and was like, nope, still so many sharp, jagged edges on these rocks. I ran it for another 3 days on a much slower tumble. Uh-oh, why is my chat gone away over here? That's not cool. Stay awake, computer. Yes, I do, Chubby Hubby, have the Nat Geo tumbler. I sure do. Jeff, let's just jump right into this, buddy. Does this rock look at all familiar, Jeff? What's Rufo selling tonight? Oh, Herx. Herx galore. This is an agate that Jeff sent me. And it had quite a rind on the outside of it, which the grit is doing a darn good job getting rid of. I'm okay with a few of these, what we call grit grabbers, those little pits in rocks. I'm okay with a few of those. I think it's going to add character to this rock. It was either a Botswana or it was maybe that one, you'd sent me one or two of the other one that were wrapped individually. This might have been that one. Anyway, that's a beautiful agate. I'm absolutely in love with that. It's going to be stunning when it's all done. There's a little bit of soap in this water, as you guys can see, just a little bit. And I've got another rinse container of clean water over here. So as you can see, I'm really getting all of the grit, the previous grit off these rocks before I move them along to the next grit. Here's another agate. This one's my brother's, and he cut some other little pieces out of this agate. And we had all these little ends and nubs and stuff, and we're like, let's just throw them in the tumbler. I was shooting for an all petrified wood load, but I'll make exception for a few agates, of course. Nice piece of pet wood. It's getting there, getting all smoothed out. It may break here. I hope we can get that smoothed out without it cracking. It'll be all right. I'm not too particular. I'll take them however they come out. Flaws and all. Another little pet wood there. Nice lighter colored piece here. This will be pretty tumbled. Look at all the lines in it. Nice one. I like all the reds and different colors in this piece, but I like the simplicity behind that one too. These are going to be so cool when they're done. Look at this crazy piece. Still quite rough. I hope he comes along a little better. Ooh, he's cool. Look at all that pattern detail. There's a little agate pocket right there. Ooh, I like him. I like him a lot. That one's neat. I don't know how shiny he'll get in the end, but got a lot going on. How about this one? Ooh. Yep, I'll take it. I'll keep it. I like it. All that swirly stuff happening in there. That's a beautiful piece. Look, it spans this way too. That's cool. Moving right along here. What is that? Wow. Okay, so this is a piece of pet wood that I cut it. I was hoping to kind of make some cabs out of it, and it broke. Whoops, the camera, the eyeball, the middle of the camera's over here. Sorry, guys. And rather than keeping cutting or carrying on with something that was kind of a lost cause, I just decided to throw this little end cut piece in the tumbler. Here's another piece of it. Look, there's maybe another crack in there. That might not make it to the end. That might wind up being even more small pieces. There's a nice little translucent spot right there. Hello, focus. Nice little piece. I just hope it makes it. We'll see. Oh, let's grab from the corner. These really came quite clean with that first rinse over there. See, I think I was ripping through them a little hard at that first 8 days, kind of chipping them rather than polishing on them. So Like I say, I slowed it down and ran it for like another 3 days. And that really helped. These are a lot smoother, a lot nicer than they were that first time I peeked in there. Oh, I'm reading the chats really quick. Yeah, again, I'm just not too particular. I'll clean everything out, you know, with my little toothbrush and water, but if a little bit gets in, it's probably going to be okay. I've kind of been thinking lately about investing in some more tumblers, which is kind of crazy because sometimes I let this sit and sit and sit and sit for unexcusable amounts of time. But I'd like to tumble some of the glass. I think that'd be a nice way to kind of keep some of that uranium contained. Ooh, how cool is this? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Look at that. Look at that big agate band running through there. I did the same thing, Rufo, only I think I might have went more like 15, 16 months without running mine. It was horrible. It was horrible, and I kept meaning to do it, and I just didn't. This is a funky little piece. Check him out. Sometimes these dark pieces, when they lose their rind, they just are unappealing. And so I'm glad that one's keeping a lot of that spunk on the outside of it, that character. It's a really pretty piece. I think I'm right on your heels there, Rufo. I think I'm working on my 4th batch in 3 years now. Oh, but I actually really, I mean, if I buckle down and make myself do it, I really do like the outcome of this. And it's a wonderful thing to do with your rocks, just to spiff them up, you know? So I don't know why I don't do it more. I do know why, because it gets noisy and our winters are long, our summers are short. But there's things we can do. I mean, that one's crazy. I like the black white on that one too. That's cool. Al Gold says his tumbler has dust on it. Angie says she loves the sound of the tumbler. It's soothing to her. Thank you, Angie. I think they're pretty as well. It could be Chubby Hubby running a little fast. It could be, honestly. Like I say, I slowed it down. I was way happier with the result. That one's really pretty too. Yes, they are. Aren't they, Angie? There's no such thing as too many rocks and crystals, Al. No such thing. All right, moving on. No such thing as too many. Ooh, I like this one too. Mm-hmm. That one's pretty. Soul popped in. Did somebody say? She did. How pretty is that one? That one's just a little bigger than wrapping size, but they're just a little guy. I like the long pieces. There's something about the longer petrified woods, when they're tumbled, all the way tumbled, they make the prettiest little clacky sound with each other. I mean, the little ones do too, but I do like some of the longer pieces. Ooh, that one's pretty. Oh my goodness. Pretty rocks on a prairie. All right, focus. Come on. You can do it. Here we go. Me as well, Al. I think I brought all the rocks in from the cab for the most part from the last few hunts I've taken, but I have had some in the bed of my truck that have been there for a minute. I am digging some of the stuff happening in this piece. Let's look at an agate or two. Ooh, those are pretty, aren't they? Those are gonna be pretty. Heck yeah. Exceptions can be made for pretty agates when you're running a pet wood load through your tumbler. Oh, it's hard to be so patient. I get all excited and I'm like, I have a whole bunch of stuff too that I'm like, oh, I'd like to see this tumbled. But yeah, how much of that will I ever get to? I don't know. I might be thinking about getting, like I say, another tumbler, or if my significant other made me one is making me one, and I haven't tried it yet. I haven't actually got it fully loaded yet. I've got lots of stuff I want to see tumbled, but I actually don't know if I have enough grit to load a tumbler as big as he made me, so might be in the market for a big bulk order of grit before I get that thing rolling. It's kind of a cutie. Funky little guy. Same there. Kind of a darker piece, though. I like this one. And I love this one. Super cool. Ooh. Again, here's an end off of some stuff that I cut to make some slabs. There's just some little agate bits that, pardon me, that got tossed in here. Again, when they get so dark in there, they're just not as pretty. So I kind of was like, kind of a dud. Toss him in the tumbler. Some more Brothers Agate here. I like the banding down the middle of that. It's really pretty. Another really dark piece. That's got a funny little shape to it, doesn't it? I think actually, hang on just a second. Oh, I can't get that frog out of my throat today. Oh, I think that, I know it doesn't look like it now, but I do believe that this was the same piece of this agate. And he cut several pieces of this, and this piece popped perfectly out every dang time he cut it. Oops, that's got a little more work to do on the polish, as you can see there in the middle. Again, on this side too. A little more work to be done on the flat lap to get rid of those scratches. Montana agate is so ridiculously hard. That kept Brother so busy. He was just polishing and polishing and polishing and polishing. And when you think about how long he spent sitting polishing this versus how much work I've put into this, I mean, there's time into this, but the work I put into this versus that other piece, tumbling can be fun when you consider that it is kind of just a passive thing. You just load the tumbler and let her rip, tater, chip. Rinse and repeat. It's a Boot. Where's Boot, by the way? Anybody seen him this morning? I have a dog bag that I put them in and toss in a bit. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Al. The wood is pretty cool. The agates are pretty cool too. Getting down to the itty bitties. Aw, what a little cutie. He might make it. He might be a little something by the end. Oh, that's got a little fossil in it or something. I'm not sure that's a wood. Oh, it might be. It might just be like agatized little ringlets. That's a tiny little guy. And the small ones are important too. You can't just have a load full of big rocks because the little ones get in the little cracks of the big ones, and the big ones, you know, rub up against each other. It's all very important to have a lot of different sizes in your tumbler. Try to keep the same hardness, but different sizes is kind of a good idea. And these little guys will get in the little cracks. So there's a little agate piece. Another wood. More wood. I was catching up on the chat there a little bit. They're having an equipment discussion. Let's give that one another scrub just to be sure. There's another piece of agate. Nice little dendrites in that. Cuties, little cuties. Into the rinks they go. Boy, we're down there now, guys. Huh. Little bits. Little broken bits. And the last two just aren't all that spectacular. Wouldn't it figure? Yeah, those actually, I mean, not running them through a borax or even a dish soap treatment in between stages here, those were remarkably not terribly dirty with just the rinse. Kind of surprised. Kind of surprised. So a gal I work with, she's been tumbling rocks for quite a while. She really enjoys it. And you know, it takes a little bit of getting used to, not just rock hounding and like somebody driving by looking at you. At first, that can make you feel a little bit anxious and weird. You know, to have discussions with your friends and family about rocks can be a little bit awkward, anxious, and weird at first. You know, some people think you're absolutely nuts. Sorry, the focus sucks right now, but I'm just telling you this quick story. Some people think you're just nuts when you're like, yeah, I like to go rock hounding. I like to collect rocks. And so I think for her, because, you know, I run a YouTube channel, I'm totally comfortable talking about my hobby and hunting rocks and how, you know I look crazy and I fully embrace it. But her, not so much. So I think when she gets an opportunity to visit with me about rocks, I think she does kind of, I think she does kind of still feel a little bit odd about it, but I think that she's probably more comfortable talking to me about it than a lot of other people. But she was telling me the other day that she's got a small hole wearing right in the middle of her lid. Her rocks are wearing a small hole in the rubber of her lid. She has tumbled so many rocks. I thought that was crazy cool. I was like, way to go. Yeah, thank you, Angie. They were pretty, weren't they? Yeah, and that's just the first stage there. They'll just get prettier and prettier as they go. I'm excited to see them all done. Anyway, I thought I'd take you guys along on the adventure. This has been such a, you know how this morning was when I had to try 3 times to get my live going? It was just like that, trying to get that Tumblr going too. Try 3 times. But they're turning out so nice. I can't wait to see them finished. Let's see that one of Jeff's again. It's one of the nicest rocks in the whole bunch, Jeff. The banding in that thing is just on another level. I love that piece. The boot. There's some really pretty stuff going to come out of this load. I just can't. I patiently am waiting, but not patiently waiting at the same time. That's a good idea, Spot. I will suggest that to her. I know that you can buy the barrels by themselves and that they're not terribly expensive. And that was my knee-jerk suggestion, was to get a new barrel. We get the blue jays that come through. They migrate through seasonally, and I love the blue jays. We're talking about birds in the chat, by the way, to those who are watching this later in the future. The blue jays kind of got a bad attitude. Like, he'll run everybody out of the yard. Stray cats, he'll run everyone out of the yard. And yeah, they love their peanuts. I feed them whole peanuts, and sometimes the magpies will come through, and I do not feed the magpies, but they will come through, them and some other birds. And then when the blue jays and the magpies and everybody vamoose for the winter, and spring comes back around, I find those peanuts strategically hidden all throughout my yard. And it makes me smile. I actually really think it's cool. Yeah, I agree. Most of them do have attitudes, and you kind of got to. I mean, it's a tough world out there. You gotta kind of be tough to make it if you're a bird, I'm sure. I kind of like it though. Like, I kind of like that the Blue Jays chase the stray cats and stuff out of the yard. I root them on. I encourage them. I invite them in. I encourage them. I feed them. I take good care of them while they're here. They do their job. They chase all the riffraff out of the yard. Dog does a really good job keeping the riffraff out too. We get skunks and all kinds of crazy deer. Deer like to come in and eat my garden, and dog does a very alarming bark. She stands all the hair up on her back and does a very alarming bark. And she does a really good job, like I say, but I do get a kick out of the Blue Jays kind of hazing everyone and everything in the neighborhood. I kind of do get a kick out of it. So I take good care of them when they come through. But yeah, the little birds are fun to watch too. Watch them, they'll get so catty with each other that they're eating seed out of each other's mouths and stuff. They're brutal with each other. There was a really weird bird when we were out walking the other day. I honestly don't know what it is. It flew right over my head. I love that piece. I love all the twisty turny stuff in that piece. So that, and I was kind of the first one to be, well, hazed by this bird. This bird was like, it flew right over the top of my head, and right as it like skimmed the top of my head, it said like, it was like the weirdest noise. And I was like, what the crap was that? And I put my finger on it. I was like, oh man, it was that bird. Like, honestly, just wigged me out a little bit. And he was keeps swooping around, and he keeps saying like, ha, ha, ha. And it just, I don't know, it sounded like a rusty gate opening or something, but like he would do it right over the top of your head, and it would just be like, what in the world is that weird noise? Anyway, same bird, different location, was getting after my brother one day, and my brother was like, what is that weird bird getting after my kid the other day? I was like, yeah, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was taken by surprise by this weird swooping bird. I really honestly still don't know what kind of bird it was, but yeah, it was rather entertaining. Still just kind of having a look at some of these. Get a good look, because it's going to be at least a week before we see him again. And I don't know if I'll take you guys, if we'll go through each step of these, or if this will just kind of be our final peek before the end reveal. But yeah, it's nice to kind of slow down, take a minute with them, have a look, see how they're progressing before we shove them back in there and say goodbye to them for another week. Like I say, I ran this first grit for a little longer than a week, like a week and 3 days maybe. Excuse me. Wonder if I should help that little nub there. Wonder if I should get that off at the saw. They're so pretty. I'm so happy with them. I cannot wait. I have to wait. I have no option, but I cannot wait to see them finished. So cool. They're gonna be so stinking cool, you guys. And the final reveal will be extra special, since we got to take a minute with them here and see, like I say, see the progress going along here. You guys will have to wait and see, just like me, how they turn out. I remember this piece going in. It did not look like that going in. We're still talking about the sassy blue jays in the chat, or we're still talking about the sassy blue jays in the chat. They're cracking me up. I talked to my blue jays. I let them know that I'm the one that's leaving on peanuts. I'm like, you're my boy, Blue. You're my boy, Blue. And he talks back to me. He crows back at me, or she. I don't know if it's a he or a she. It doesn't matter. It's a regular thing. You're my boy, Blue. Come get your peanuts. There's been some cool stuff going on in the community. Everybody's been taking lots of trips, doing all kinds of fun things together. Patrick Donahue and Katie Did Rocks got together the other day. That was kind of a cool trip. We were watching it. They were going under this like huge overhang with all these gravels just like mashed into the rock wall. It was super cool. They didn't have an overwhelming amount of luck, but so is it as a rockhound, right? Some days are lucky, other days aren't. You're just glad to get out and be in the nature. And Rufo's been doing the herks. He's been cleaning herks. He's just about to go blind if he cleans another herk in the next day or two. His eyes will be permanently crossed. Something. Karen went. She dug the fossil fish. It was absolutely mesmerizing her, watching her kind of pick away at the matrix that fish was laying in the other night. That was kind of cool. I was digging that. Yeah, chubby hubby. How was that trip? You got to tell us. More lucky than not lucky, or more not lucky than lucky? That one's super raggedy. That's really cool. I've been kind of considering taking a little trip before the end of the summer. I mean, the summer's pretty much at an end here already. That chunk of agate in there. Have I looked at that one like 30 times in the last 2 seconds? I'm not sure. My sister-in-law, I guess we would say, my dad remarried and his wife has a daughter, and she's doing an internship over at the Bynum Rock Shop, which is one of my favorite places. It's one of the only rock shops I hit kind of on an annual and regular basis. And gosh, the focus sucks again all of a sudden. It's such a cool place because they're right there in a dinosaur hotspot, dinosaur bone hotspot. And a lot of it's being researched and studied, and some of it's open for the public to go tour through. You can even, do a day dig there. Excuse me, this coffee is just making me burp this morning. Maybe I need a little hair of the dog that bit me. Maybe I should have another swaller. Okay, so as I was saying, her name is Montana, and Montana is doing an internship over at the Bynum Dinosaur. They've got a gift shop where you can go in and buy rocks and things, and a lot of it's some of it's local agates and things, and then some of it's things that big quartz points and things that are brought in, amethyst specimens and stuff that you would probably see at a gem and mineral show or in a rock shop, right? But next door, they have a dinosaur museum too, where you can walk through and see a lot of the dinosaurs and the bones and things that they're digging, like literally right out the back door, adjoining property of this rock shop. So Montana's doing an internship there, and so some days it's her job to work in the gift shop. Some days it's her job to work in the dinosaur museum. Some days it is her job to go dig dinosaur bones. Other days it is her job to sit, clean, and prep and catalog those bones. So I know that I can't visit with her about all avenues and aspects of that all in one day. So I might run a poll, like, if I were to go over there, what would you guys want to see? The gift shop? The dinosaur museum? Both? Would you rather I sign up and go do a day dig, if that's still possible, and take you guys with me on a day dig, and never mind the gift shop and the museum? I just don't know. I just don't think I could get it all into one day, if I even get over there. That might be something I do, like, even next year, and she may not be there next year, but maybe I could take her with me and she could explain in probably more detail than lots of others what's going on over there and why they're doing it and what they're doing. And anyway, I'm just fascinated. I am super jealous. It is a tough question to answer, isn't it, Soul? What would you like to? Where would you like me to take you first? And we could do like one part now and another part later. You know, I have no problem with going over there multiple times if that's something I can actually get around to doing. My problem is I work too much, and then when I'm not working too, I'm playing bass in a band and being a mom. And so, like I say, this is school just started today. It's their first day. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't interrupted my live with their lunch break yet. They probably will very soon. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of that, Soul. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe we dig and then show what the result of the dig is. I don't know. I might have to go over there and check it out first and decide, because I've never done the dig. I've only been to the gift shop. I've never even went through the dinosaur museum. The kids have gone through as part of their school field trips and stuff, but I never have. Hey, yeah, Jennifer jumped in there. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, that's a good idea, Spot. I like that idea. Hey, Sandmaker. Start clean, then get dirty. That is some solid words of wisdom there. Oh, I like that a lot. That's great. And then did you guys, I gotta say too, I put out titled my last video, it was like, you know, rock fossil challenge, who wins, mom or son? And Aussie Rock Hounding and Adventures had commented that looks like everybody's a winner, and I loved that comment. Absolutely loved that comment. I was like, yes, Aussie Rock Hounding and Adventures drops mic on that one. Like, seriously, we are all winners. I loved that. Loved that comment. Because really, in my mind, I was like, it's a tie for sure. I mean, he found the cool little shell, and he found the little sponge or the coral or whatever it is, and I found the brachiopod. Like, it's pretty fair and square tie, right? And then Aussie got on there and was like, yeah, it looks like everybody wins. And I was like, yes, like that is a glass half full kind of comment there. I love that. But yeah, that's good advice, Soundmaker. Start clean, then get dirty. I like that. Today we did the opposite. We started dirty and we got clean. And then yeah, I wish I could get the rainbows. Even just like one. Even just like one little rainbow flash. I think probably if the light were on the other side. Could we get that? No, it's gonna have to be something I save for better photography. For better photography, better light, better setup. I pulled this one in from outside this morning. It looks like a dagger. Like Rocky Mountain Bear was what it's like. What about a rock axe? And then he was like, oh, I misunderstood. It was a rock box. Look at the tip on this, you guys. And it's so super clear. Like, look at, see my finger through there. But look at the, if you haven't adjusted the quality of your video today, now would be a good time to do that. How crazy jagged is that? All of those fine little points that managed to survive the trip home in the bag, banging around with other gypsums. It managed to survive a good scrubbing with a toothbrush. And yeah, there is some rainbow in the sides of this one. I can't remember. Oop, I see one with my naked eye right about there. But yeah, totally different angle where my eye is versus your eye. And the light, I just plopped it there. That's not helpful. Man, there's angles of that just blow your mind, isn't there? Focus. So sparkly, you guys. So pretty. So pretty. Anyway, that's kind of where we started. Was I was super thrilled to discover that in the long flat plains of this, there are often those oily rainbows. There's one again, I can see it. I just don't know if I can get it on the camera. Not even gonna make you guys wait, look, and try. But yeah, the gypsum is super cool. I mean, the more I check it out, play with it, the more I really actually do think it is some really cool stuff. So I've been sneaking this into some people's packages here and there. I really need to get a piece of this to Jeff. I was definitely holding off a little while waiting for Jeff to get to his new place and get set up before I hit him with another package. Never again will I send Jeff as big a package as I did, unless he asks me to. He wanted me to load up a huge box of that Septarian too. I should go back and do that for him. At least grab it before the snow flies out here. Fall will be upon us quickly. So I need to go grab some of that Septarian chunk for Jeff. The one, and it fluoresces pink under the UV, red under the UV, and even phosphoresces. It even gives one last little shout out of red before it fades out. It doesn't last long. It's very short-lived phosphorescence, very flighty phosphorescence, but it does phosphoresce for just a moment in that red color, which is cool. I think my significant other maybe even hit it with a regular flashlight and it phosphoresced. So I need to go test that and see if that really was happening. Yeah, those Septarians up there, those great big ones that are just about as big as an ottoman, those are just amazing. Also, Jeff had asked if I could do a UV video up there in the nighttime, and I would definitely like to try that. I actually was out. Let's say this is the hill where the big Septarians are. There's kind of a little valley there and another hill over on the other side. And I took the UV light and hunted this hillside until dusk with the intention on getting in the truck and driving over to the other hill and going up there and checking things out with the UV. But it got super chilly. So I called it a day. I was wrapped up in my hoodie and I was freezing my little bum off. So I called it a day. Hey Karen, how are you? I was actually just making comment about how awesome it was to watch you prepping that fossil the other day. And that I thought it was just really kind of meditative to watch you pop the matrix off of that little fossil fish with the pick. I was enjoying that. And all of the other finds you had, that was a fun live. Thank you so much, Karen. I enjoyed that very much. They're amazing, aren't they, Spot? Like I say, how do you stop yourself from not just filling a bag or having just like, huge calcite and aragonite samples sitting up on your shelf, or out on your back deck or what, it's so hard to stop myself from not just loading up. I mean, Jeff gave me a good reason to go load up. He said grab him some of that. He'd buy a flat rate box of that. So I will definitely go pick him out some of the nicest stuff I can find. And maybe they'll bring a few home for me as well. I have brought some smaller ones home just to, again, be able to throw into boxes and things. Free gift goodies when people order stuff. I don't know what I'll do with it all, but I have brought home some littler stuff, but uh, it is my intention to get up there with a UV, see if I can get some video. I am really, um, again, on the verge of getting a new device. This S9 is not cutting it for video quality, for storage, for for gigabyte storage. It's just not cutting it. I need to upgrade. I needed to upgrade a long time ago, really. So catching up on the chats really quick. Yeah, so we'll see. I might be able to eke one UV video out on this poor old S9 before the snow flies. I might not. I might just, I don't know. There's so much going on. And like I say, the kids started school yesterday. It was their first day back at school. My oldest one is a senior this year. My youngest one is a sophomore. So I have a funny feeling that this is going to be an extra busy year. I mean, I've already got some notifications that football pictures, here's your football picture package. So here's, homecoming is right around the corner. It always falls on my kid's birthday, September, 22nd ish. They always have homecoming right about then. So it's just, I imagine this is going to be kind of a flyby kind of year as a mom. And I don't know how that will integrate with my YouTube channel and getting out to do things. We'll see. It's always my escape. It's always my breath of fresh air to get out, but how much longer? Again, the nights are getting cool here. Yeah, it's so busy, isn't it, Soul? So, septarians, as they erupt from the ground, it's like slow motion. The ground is boiling, and the septarians are like rock bubbles coming to the surface weirdness. Okay, not quite. Although I'm a little geography lesson here. So I live right next to a land feature that we call the Sweetgrass Hills. And I've heard it quoted, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard it quoted that they are the tallest standalone peaks in North America. So they're not part of the Rockies. They're not part of the Bears Paw. They're not part of any of the other major mountain ranges. They are standalone, isolated peaks out in the middle of the prairie. And it is an ancient volcano. There was as I'm sure some of you are familiar, there was a low-lying inland sea that ran all the way up to Montana thousands and millions of years ago. That's why we get so many sea fossils up here. And so that sea actually receded and then came back, and then receded and then came back many times over its lifetime. I mean, it obviously no longer exists. Montana's been tidal wave free for like 50,000 years now, and there is no longer a shallow seabed here. But as that sea recedes, it leaves this limestone mass as the seabed dries. And if you've ever seen mud crack as it dries and it leaves those little cracks, those organics, the shells and things will fall into those cracks. And then we get the calcite and the aragonite bands that run between here. I'm going to run out and get one real quick. I found a nice one the other day. Okay. So while there is quite a bit of volcanic activity that creates my environment here, my rock hounding environment, septarians, as far as I know, are not volcanically created. So, like I say, we have a limestone mass That's actually got a little aragonite, druzy aragonite on it right there. And then the calcite pockets that fill those cracks. That one's cool. It's all toothy. So that was actually not as good of example as I thought it might be. I mean, it's a nice septarian, but boy, just because it's full of so much calcite, but we're not getting as much of that cracked look. Here, let me go get that one that's polished. That's a good example, the polished piece. Okay. And this one even has, I'm going to move my pretty bowl of goodies. This one even has some little fossil remnants happening in it. As you can see right here, there's a little fossil bed guy, just a print of him. And there may be some other little fossil-y things happening in there, but if you look at this and imagine that this was a big mud ball that had cracked, and then all of those little cracks got filled with these silicates, these organics, calcite being the yellow or white colored, and then aragonite being that much darker color. So that is a result of drying of an ancient seabed rather than a volcanic process. But like I say, there is a lot of volcanics that plays into what I do find here. Some little druzy aragonite on the end of that and calcite crystals. I do find a lot of volcanic sort of stuff out here too, because the hills that I was referring to earlier are volcanic in nature, not active currently, obviously, but it never actually erupted. It never actually ejected lava out onto the surrounding environment because it was under the water as it happened. It literally just bulged up. There's a name for that kind of volcano, but I cannot remember. So, yeah, thank you. But yeah, that's the little geology lesson, and I there are, I can think of 3 or 4 rockhounds right now on the Yellowstone River. I can think of 0 up here. So I've kind of had to get a little familiar with my geology and my environment, what I'm finding and why I'm finding it kind of independently. I haven't got 3-4 other rockhounds who are out there finding some of the same stuff as I am, and like, oh, guess what? This isn't in fact quartz, but this is in fact calcite. No, I have to figure that out by myself a lot of times. There are some stuff that I do find that, we'll find everywhere across the state. An agate's an agate, a petrified wood is a petrified wood. There's some stuff that's kind of universal, but I can't in my wildest dreams imagine somebody finding a nice huge piece of gypsum on the Yellowstone River. It would be tumbled into bits. So it's a little bit different. My environment is definitely kind of my own discovery as I go along. I get to kind of learn, and history is important to me too, because a lot of the old timers had some stuff figured out that without their help I would never figure out. So a lot of the mining stories, a lot of the old, this is gas and oil country up here. So there were some old gas and oil camps and things set up here. There's gold up in the hills. The stories about Gold Butte are really, really cool. They're gripping, incredible tales of saloon style, shootouts and all kinds of cool stuff. So if you really dig into what you've got where you're at, there's an endless supply of stuff, to avenues and angles to look at your rock hounding through, historical rock hounding to exploratory rock hounding to just rock hounding for fun, to what do you do with it when you bring it home? Are you running it through a tumbler? Are you cutting and polishing specimens? Are you leaving them just exactly like they are? So What do you do with all the pretty rocks out on the prairie? Thanks, Angie. And I get such a kick out of it. Like, as much as I love my stories and stuff, I like to hear some of the other stories from around too. I like to hear what other people are finding and why. Again, Karen does a really good job. Some of her, close-ups on these are tiny fish bones in these samples. Like, I'm absolutely gripped because there's a chance I might find something like that out here. Might not even know it. For example, did you guys watch that last video I put out where I found this? I had actually set this aside thinking that it was just a piece of septarian, and then realized that this is a brachiopod fossil that is completely crystallized. And I love discovering things like that. Like, how stinking cool is that? I didn't even realize it in the field. I brought it home and was like, holy cow. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. I am on Discord. I don't check it regularly. I should. I kind of check it like a newspaper about once a week, and I scroll through all the ads and see what I missed. And yeah, gosh, you guys, I just can't get over how stinking pretty that is. And I've got some of his neighboring buddies too, and some of them have got little chunks. It's too bad that one broke. Or is he this part of this one? I don't know. Again, that's another piece of this same thing here, but is it a separate? I don't know. There were lots of there were you can see another one started here. There were several of those, and that's the only like almost whole specimen that came out. Oh. So yeah, I want to get back out. I am starting to feel the pressure a little bit. The season is closing in on me quick. So we'll see if we can get everything done before the snow flies that we want to get done. Yes, I am Angie. Uh-huh. Like I say, I don't check it as often as I should, but I do check. So if I don't get to your messages in Discord promptly, please forgive me. It's because I found that feather. You're right, Jennifer. Yeah, I don't know about you other rock hounds out there, but I have weird little superstitions and things that I do. This one definitely, when I figured out what was going on too, got some smooches. Yes, that's a keeper. I like to make my offerings to the rock gods. I like to put a little rock up and leave him there. I have a weird thing too about putting rocks right back in the hole that they came from, just like they came out of there. And what other kind of weird stuff? Yeah, the feather. I also kind of keep my eyes an extra little bit sharp when I find an ant pile. I've said in the last video, I don't know if it's something about the pH of the soil or if I'm just making things up in my mind, but I think that I tend to find more petrified woods when I find ants. Yeah, I don't know if there's just a little something more in the dirt there that so, I don't know. Oh, thanks, chubby hubby. Yeah, but it's not just me, it's others too. I like I say, I truly enjoy hearing the stories from other people's places and seeing other people's finds just as much as I enjoy my own. I really rely on those with warmer weather through the winter to keep me going. I'm looking forward to watching all of your finds while I'm stuck in here and feeding my fireplace and that kind of thing. So I like winter too. It's a nice opportunity for me to stay home and work on on jewelry making, polishing, wire wrapping, all of that fun stuff too. But there, it just, man, I, like I say, I'm starting to feel the crunch. The nights are getting cool, the days are getting shorter. I don't want my season to end. I just want it to stay nice all year round. So yeah, I definitely lean on those others, especially those down in like Australia, for example. It's their summer when it's our winter, so I wish them the best of luck as their season begins because I can't wait to see what they find. Anyway, now we're just blabbing, blabbing, which is cool. But I'm going to go get these loaded into the tumbler. Get the next grit going on them. I don't know what all I'm going to do today. Probably go for a walk and enjoy the final throes of summer here. I can't wait to see what the gang has got for Friday night. Karen, like I say, she did an awesome live with some of her stuff. The gang, I think, is going to get together, and I'm sure they've got cool shows and tells, awesome words of wisdom. So, guys, be sure to drop in for that. Rufo's going live, possibly even 2 more times today. Once this afternoon just for fun, and once this evening for a live sale. You guys know Wednesday nights I cannot be there. Wednesday nights are my meteorite night. Much like Karen does when she does the podcast and then her own channel, I do my own channel, and then I also am every week getting together with a group that is called Topher Spin Meteorites, and we get together on Zoom, and we try to record every other week, at least every other week, an educational episode that we put out onto YouTube. Topher obviously hosts that, and he just recently upgraded his computer system, his editing software and stuff. So we've had just a bit of a lull in videos coming out lately, but we're getting right back on track with that currently. Tonight's show and tell, as a matter of fact, will be, and I don't know if he'll record or not, or if we will just hang out, but our show and tell theme tonight is meteor wrongs and that look like meteorites, and you get extra bonus points if you can put the actual meteorite that next to the rock that looks like a meteorite next to the meteor wrong. So I'll have one final tangent here before I let you guys go, but yeah, check those out if you've never watched and you're interested in learning about meteorites. Check out Topher Spin Meteorites on YouTube. You'll see my smiling face there once in a while. So hang on just a second. I've got just one funny little tangent to go on before I leave you guys and start getting ready for my Wednesday night plans with the Meteorite Gang. Okay, let's see. We've got this much of it, and that's Dino Bone. There it is. Okay. Okay, so I like to collect meteorites that fell in Montana. There aren't very many. 7 in total, and I've got 3. 8 in total, and I've got 3. There's one palisite that fell in Montana, and that is the Shoto palisite. And it's incredibly rare. It is rarer than hen's teeth. It's incredibly difficult to get a piece of. Like, not even joking. And a good friend of ours at the Meteorite crew on Topher Spin Meteorites had a piece of this, and he put it on auction. And I was like, did he fall down and bump his head this morning? Like, what is the matter with him? Why would he put that on auction? Why would he sell that to anybody but the Montana collector? Why? Why would he do that to me? So I was in a full tilt rant for days about this meteorite hitting the auction. And So in the meantime, I have this earth rock. I am an earth rock, but I identify as a Shoto palisite. I was like, I will never be able to afford this rock. I will never have Shoto in my collection. So in the meantime, I will get this rock that identifies as a Shoto palisite, and it'll take the spot of the Shoto palisite in my collection. So this is a rock. It's probably got some, I don't know, some hornblende maybe down here as some of this shiny metallic looking material. Let me see if I can fix the focus here real quick. Oh, and it did it all by itself. You can see there's even kind of some rusty crud in there. And then there are some silicates. There is a quartz chunk up here, which this is definitely not a meteorite. Obviously, this is definitely an earth rock, but cut and polished. When we look at the Shoto palisite, the metals are obviously far more metally, but these darker bits in here are silicates. Usually in palisites, those silicates are olivine, and they're usually very beautiful. They're green or yellow, and if light will pass through them, and they're usually very beautiful. This is an ungrouped palisite. I like the little kicker down here, by the way, the little tail, and it's almost got a Montana shape to it. So, but the silicates in this are very different. This is an ungrouped palisite, which means it is unlike any other palisite that we know of. It is ungrouped. It cannot be grouped with the rest of the palisites. It's obviously a palisite. It's obviously a meteorite, and it's obviously nickel iron with the silicate inclusions, but those silicate inclusions are very different than most other meteorites when we compare this to others. That's why it's very hard to get a hold of. There's not a lot of it to begin with. The total known weight isn't big. And then to boot, anybody who collects palisites is going to want an ungrouped palisite. But for me, anybody who collects Montana meteorites wants a Shoto palisite. So, but yeah, that's the theme of Show and Tell Hangout tonight is, do you have a meteor wrong? And do you have the meteorite that it could be compared to? Now, obviously, side by side, these are totally different rocks. So I don't honestly know if I'll pull this out at Show and Tell tonight or not. I have some other meteor wrongs, but I don't have the meteorite that they look like either. So, but yeah, that's going to be our theme tonight. I'm kind of excited. I know some of the gang have got some really convincing meteor wrongs. So it'll be an interesting episode. Yeah, that hornblende kind of metallic-y, metal-y stuff up in that top bit of that rock is kind of cool. Anyway, there's my rant. So check out Topher Spin Meteorites if you want to learn more about meteorites. Go check out Rufo. Go check out Karen. Who else is in? Oh, Mike. I didn't even see Mike. Welcome to the shoe, Mike. Good to see you. Kind of jumping in here at the end, though, aren't you? It's okay, though. It is kind of mesmerizing, isn't it? And it's literally just an earth rock, but it's got some stuff going on. But yeah, the meteorite's amazing. It's one of my favorites. It is kind of the crown jewel of my collection. I love that little metal bleb. One that hangs out there all by itself, right on top. It almost looks like a man. Like there's his body and there's his head. Oh, you guys, that meteorite steals my heart. Big time, big time, big time. I wanted it so bad too. Like I say, I was on a rant. Did he fall down and bump his head this morning? What's the matter with him? And then I got to tell you guys too, you know how awesome this community is and how like sometimes we won't bid on things just because we want somebody to have it, right? Well, the meteorite community is very much so like that too. And everybody in my group knew that I had wanted a piece of Shoto palisite for a very long time. They also know that it is very hard to get, does not come on the market often. And I got to tell you, when that eBay auction hit, it was Snoozeville. There was nobody there bidding against me. And that just speaks volumes to what a great community the meteorite community is. You know, they all got together, they all chatted around, and they talked about me behind my back. They did. They all said how, you know, we all know how much Allison really, 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 really wants this piece that's going to finish off her Montana collection. How many more opportunities will she have to do this? Let's let her have it. Let's make sure she gets it. And in fact, it wasn't just Snoozeville during the auction, but I had a lot of people making sure that if somebody did start bidding on this rock, they were going to outbid whoever it was and make sure that I got this, even if it took a donation from everybody in the crew to make it happen. So luckily I didn't need their help to that magnitude, but they were ready to make it happen for me, you guys. So doesn't that story just warm your heart just a little? It makes me just warm and fuzzy inside. Anyway, that was my tangent for the day. I'm an earth rock, but I identify as a Shoto Palisite. That's that rock's ID card. So yeah, we'll see. Like I say, I'm looking forward tonight to see what everybody else has. Oh, there is so much love out there, and you guys are awesome about it. You guys are really good about spreading the love, showing everybody equal support, love in the community. So yeah, like I say, I won't be able to join you tonight, Rufo. I do my meteorite hangout every Wednesday night. I'm on YouTube quite frequently, hanging with you guys, and I only visit with my meteorite crew one night a week, and that is Wednesday night. So let's bag this guy back up so he doesn't get dusty dirty. Look, I love this rock and this story so much that I actually keep this dang rock in this nice bag and put it in my rock display. I love that story. I can't not love that story. It's just too heartwarming. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of spreading the love, you guys know how to do it. You guys go hit all those other channels, go make the comments, go hit the like buttons. Yeah. Cool, Jeff. I was wondering, because you had said something about getting that little machine with the saw and the scribe, and then you were saying something about some tumbling material and stuff too, Jeff. So yeah, we're excited for you to get moved in and get set up in your new studio, your new shop, whatever you want to call it, and see what you can start putting out. Yeah, you guys. Anyway, so do something awesome with your day if you can. Even if that is as simple as hitting the like button on this video, that's pretty awesome. Even if it's as simple as throwing out some watch hours for somebody. Soul rocks, she really spreads the love. She knows how. Angie rocks, she knows how. Karen rocks, she knows how. Mike, he's the man. Oh, well, that's great, Mike. I really do appreciate it. It really does help the algorithmy thingy. So, and Spot's already done it. You guys rock. You all rock. This has been a fun one. I've really had fun with you guys today. I'm kind of dreading ending it, but I just haven't got a whole lot else to visit about today. But yeah, I think it's time. Yeah, you guys have a great day, a great week. More stuff coming out from all of us all week. And yeah, I'll see you guys around in the other chats. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching and hanging out. Oh, Bear, you're the best. Have an awesome day, you guys. Thank you. And we'll see you again. Pretty rocks out on the prairie. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Pretty rocks for us to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere.
Thanks for watching, guys.